going to reconvene. So the ruckus continued. And Pallavi, they're giving us all of those details as the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the parliament, stands adjourned for the day today. The ruckus is only growing. There has been open threats by members of the Congress party where they have said that if the leader of opposition will not be allowed to speak on the floor of the house, then they are not going to allow any members from the treasury benches, any leaders or union ministers as well to speak. They will not allow the proceedings of the house to run smoothly. At least that is how the statement has been underlined coming in from the Congress party leaders, whether it is Priyanka Gandhi or the LOP Rahul Gandhi himself. Pallavi, the other underlying controversy that began today was associated with Union Minister Ravneet Singh Bittu. And of course, that has taken a different turn and trajectory altogether, with very many senior leaders of the BJP calling this an attack on the Sikh community. Congress party would say that this is a different kind of a spin that the BJP leaders are giving to this entire episode.
But we know that this is exactly what politics is all about. Every political party gives their own angle to their own version of events. And we all have been reporting about the chronology which took place at the Bakar Dwar. Now, Ravneet Singh Bittu and Rahul Gandhi were at one point of time very, very close to each other. Bittu belonged to the Youth Congress and the NSUI, and he was always flaunted by Rahul Gandhi to his party colleagues that Bittu is a man you all have to be like. You have to be a babbar shade, you have to be aggressive. The break of Bittu from the Congress party to the BJP is something which I think Rahul Gandhi made it very, very clear today. It's something which he has never ever got over, which is why he spoke about the fact that he is a traitor. Now, that's a very, very strong word. So the BJP spin to it is that you're calling a Sikh, a Sardar, a traitor. This shows the anti-Sikh mindset.
Right. Right. And Pallavi, we, of course, are wanting to be on this unprecedented news development because the one aspect that has been that has come to fore because of this is that the Prime Minister's address now stands delayed. It only possibly is going to happen tomorrow.
That's right. This is a matter of procedure also, Griha. The motion of thanks has to be given to the Prime Minister, the presidential speech. There are only two agendas of this brief budget session. One, of course, the motion of thanks. And second, you begin the discussion on the budget. These are considered to be constitutional propriety. Now, you can very well imagine what is going to be the narrative after this. That you did not allow the Prime Minister to speak, which means the motion of thanks narrative was not fulfilled. So not only have you disrespected the Prime Minister's position, but you have also disrespected a tribal president of India. And the anti-tribal mindset, an anti-woman mindset of the Congress party is what I think the BJP is going to point out. Once again, it's going to be a blame game. While the Congress party is going to accuse the BJP of not following the parliament maryada, and then you have those pictures of the Prime Minister walking inside the house, very well prepared to give his speech today, which of course he could not give because the house also has to be maintained with a certain amount of decorum. That's one. And the second, of course, is the BJP is making the point that, he's an LOP. He occupies a constitutional position, but you never follow the decorum.
Well, absolutely. Do stay on with us, Pallavi. We also have our other colleagues joining us. Aman joins us from the CNN News 18 newsroom. Arunima is also with us, and also joining us is Payal Mehta. Aman, coming to you first. Unprecedented developments. The Prime Minister's address now stands delayed amid this disruption in the Lok Sabha.
Well, yes, Griha, the Prime Minister was all ready to even make his speech today, and it was said that his speech could happen at 5 p.m. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister also a couple of days back had said that the Prime Minister will be speaking, but the Congress has been very clear. In the morning also, when I was speaking to Congress MPs there, be it Imran Masood or be it Raja Singh Vading, they were very, very clear that if the LOP has not been allowed to speak in Parliament, they will also not allow the Prime Minister to speak. Those words were very clearly said by Imran Masood and both Raja Singh Vading. Raja Singh Vading, in fact, was suspended yesterday in Parliament for creating ruckus, and he had very clearly told me that they will not let the Prime Minister speak because the LOP, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, has not been allowed to speak on the topic he wished to. So that is a very unprecedented situation now, that the Prime Minister's address to the motion of thanks, of the President's address has not been allowed today by the opposition, and this is going to have it's very, very serious development because now it is open because the Lok Sabha has now been adjourned for the day, as Payal was also just telling us that the Lok Sabha is now adjourned for the day, so there is no scope for the Prime Minister's address to happen today.
Right. So, in fact, let's go to Payal to get in a detail of what really happened, because Payal, we did not even get a chance to cut at the Lok Sabha when it reconvened at 5. Within a minute, possibly, it was adjourned for the day.
Yes, what we did see was unprecedented scenarios. You know, after what had happened at about 2 o'clock, and the House was adjourned till 5 o'clock. Proceedings began. PP Chaudhary, senior member of Parliament from the BJP, began to speak, but there was so much of ruckus with the speaker sitting on the chair. Sandhya Ray, she actually adjourned the House. But what was even more unprecedented was, Griha, after the House was adjourned, women members from the opposition camp came charging towards the ruling side, especially towards Nishikant Dubey and the others. And there were actually, fortunately for us, there were no unfortunate scenes that really transpired. Unprecedented scenes that we've seen in Parliament. Never in Parliament history have we seen aggression like this. They came towards the ruling side with books in their hands, with papers in their hands. And the fact that Rahul Gandhi is carrying a published copy of the book, that is also a matter of investigation. That since the government does not give permission to the publishers to publish this book, where does this book really come in from? Yeah, I'm going to get you more details. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Right, absolutely, Payal. We will let you, in fact, go and pick in more inputs as far as this unprecedented development is concerned. Remember, we are just putting out those images of the Prime Minister. You can see him walking inside the Lok Sabha. He was all ready for that address in the Lok Sabha, but that disruption caused the Lok Sabha Speaker to adjourn the House for the day. Arunima, explain to us what really happened once the Prime Minister arrived.
See, even before the House had, assembled, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had made the intention of the opposition very clear. She categorically told the media cameras that if you do not allow the leader of opposition to speak, we will not let anyone else speak. So the intention of the opposition was very clear. I think the government, when the Congress party members stormed into the speaker's chamber earlier when the adjournment had happened, they had said the same thing to the speaker. The speaker said that around 4 p.m., we will take a call. Nishikant Dubey went and met the speaker. Then he came to the media stand here, reiterated what he had said on the floor of the House. So looked like both sides had dug in their heels. The opposition was adamant that if the Prime Minister took the podium, they would go to any extent to disrupt it. The government was also adamant that Rahul Gandhi could not be allowed to speak. So I think that is where matters stood. And finally, the House got adjourned till tomorrow amidst all that pandemonium. So I think the Speaker will still make an attempt to reach out to the other members of the opposition, the TMC, the DMK, the Samajwadi Party, also the Congress Party, to try and see if the impasse can be broken. But at this stage, Rahul Gandhi just walked out. As I was speaking to you, he walked out of the Makar Dwar, once again picking up that copy of the book written by General Naravane, showing it to the cameras, and then posing with the posters that suspended MPs are still protesting outside Parliament. So posing with them, making that messaging very clear that Congress is not backing down.
So, Pallavi, that entire flashpoint on M.M. Narvane's unpublished book, 4 Stars of Destiny, that remains because the leader of opposition, we were discussing this, has gone on record, and he'd even claimed that once the Prime Minister walks into the Lok Sabha, he's in fact going to go ahead and hand over that copy that he has managed to somehow procure. The question now still remains, how did he even have that copy, because the book is not being published? It is still under review by the Ministry of Defence.
In fact, he showed us a copy of that book. I mean, remember, we were standing in the corridor of Lok Sabha, just outside his office inside in Parliament. And, I remember at one point of time, and many of us from the media were standing in the corridor, he comes out and suddenly he takes out a copy of that book and shows it to us. And that was the same book which he took outside and flaunted it while he was giving that sound bite. The book is unpublished, but what I'm presuming is, and what Congress is insisting is, that there are always some advanced copies which are available. That is one thing which is awaiting vetting or a clearance, especially on books which are written by and written on matters of sensitivity. And therefore, these are those advanced copies. But the Congress's line has also been very wishy-washy, Griha, beginning by saying that it has been authenticated, to going on to say that I leave it to you to authenticate it. And I'm using the words of Rahul Gandhi. That is a bunch of confusion which we saw coming in from the Congress, which the BJP is using as a handle, that you decide whether it's been authenticated or not. If it's not been published, if it hasn't got a clearance from the Defense Ministry, then how can you say it's authenticated? You cannot have unverified material quoted on the floor of the House. Well, the best that Congress could offer by way of rebuttal was what they did when it came to Nishikant Dubey. That why is he showing books? So it's my book versus your book, an unpublished book versus published copies of books which have been well circulated, and many of which have also emerged as bestsellers.
Right, absolutely. And that too is part of the probe now. How at all did Rahul Gandhi manage to bring in a copy of a book that has not even been published? Aman, what happens next? The Prime Minister has not been allowed to address the House. There is only that one day remaining now for the budget session to get over. The convention says that it has to end with the Prime Minister's address. What happens?
Well, Griha, we should wait and see, wait and watch. Maybe it happens tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what the government strategy now is regarding this. But the government has been very clear that there was no effort ever to stop the LOP from speaking. But the LOP needs to speak on the president's address. You know, he needs to speak on issues which maybe the president has highlighted, counter them, criticize them, whatever he wants to do. But he can't bring in issues which are not a part of the president's address, you know, be it an unpublished book or be it the, you know, Epstein files, you know, whatever he has been trying to claim. In the morning also, BJP MPs whom I met in parliament are very clear that nobody is stopping him from speaking, but he is speaking on issues which can't be validated in parliament, and that is why BJP has a gross objection to the same. Also, I think the Congress MPs who have been suspended yesterday for the purportedly unruly acts they did in the chamber of the parliament, that is what has, I think, escalated tensions on both the sides. I saw these Congress MPs today sitting in front of the Makar Dwar on the stairs holding this new poster that they have made trying to link the Prime Minister. Both Mr. Narwane's book was also there and Epstein's photograph was also there. So I think Congress is also upping the ante, and all these suspended MPs especially are trying to put the BJP in a corner, and that is why we are seeing what we are seeing in parliament now, unprecedented scenes where the Prime Minister could not speak on the motion of thanks to the President's address.
So, Arunima, what exactly is the adamancy really about by opposition, particularly the Congress party? Is it that they want the LOP to continue to talk about national security, quoting this unpublished book by M.M. Narwane, or is it the suspension demand of Nishikant Dubey? Where are they at the moment?
So, you know, yesterday Rahul Gandhi made it very clear when he came out and spoke to the media. He said, I want to make 3 points. I want to speak about national security vis-a-vis Indochina and refer to this article. If I'm not being allowed to refer to the book, I have authenticated the article which quotes the book, and yet I am not being allowed. I also want to speak about the Indo-US deal. Congress party has constantly been making the jibe, Narendra surrender. So in the context of the deal, Rahul Gandhi claimed that he wanted to speak about that. And he also wanted to speak about the latest revelation as far as the Epstein files are concerned. And he said, because they don't want me to speak on these 3 issues, I am being stopped. But this was yesterday. I think after Nishikant Dubey spoke and the book versus book battle began, then it also became an issue of if you can allow Nishikant Dubey to speak, to show the cover of the book, allow the Lok Sabha cameras to pan to him and capture what he was showing.
Right.
How
Arunima, I'm really sorry, we are getting this breaking news.